the music is coming through. Interesting. There's so many things you can pick on. What I've realized is that the gentleman and the particular song, Wrap Up 2022, is more like a bulletin. You know, he's rounding up just about everything that is trending, the issues that concern society, and of course many, including aspects of policy in Parliament. And oh boy, I was saying, Tokubye nyo kasenene nebikola bye. Dr. Kasenene, there's a lot that you, of course, that only shows that the followership is there. A very good morning. If you are just joining us, welcome on board. We are now going into our Kickstarter discussion, and it's music and entertainment industry. The topic we're going to discuss is the taxation, but also touch on the trends in the music industry, what can be, and of course that what can be refined. And the song that you've just seen is one that has ushered us into this discussion, because the guy, the man responsible for those lyrics, is part of us this morning. A very warm welcome to the program, Viboyo Oweyo. Ewa.
They don't do one now.
You know, I've always heard that, Viboyo Weyo. Yeah. And I was thinking, okay, every artist wants to identify himself with a name that is catchy, or a phrase that refers to his surroundings and environment. First, take us through what Eyo means. I'll be coming to you, don't worry.
Viboyo is an acronym. Viboyo is an acronym for Visions Beyond Your Own.
Visions beyond your own. Yeah. Viboyo.
Viboyo. And Oweyo was a phrase a friend of mine that just added on it, and it caught up with me, and I cannot.
You know, you felt it.
Like it's a tattoo now.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. That's very interesting. Viboyo. Visions beyond your own. Now, that is very interesting.
And I used to think it was his name.
You thought it was?
Yes.
Wow. Interesting there. Yet, you've been around for a very long time covering these guys. Now, you understand why I said I've been following, but still can't get it right. Andrew Kaggwa, a very good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad I have you with me as we host the gentleman here. Tell me about Wrap Up 2022. Like I said, it's more appears like a bulletin. I do current affairs and news, and when we do the bulletin, it's a compilation of the issues of the day, what they mean for the people, what they can do to help them make the decisions. When you were compiling this, what was on your mind?
Well, first, you know, this is the 11th. It's been 11 years now doing this. I started in 2012. 2012. So I've been wrapping up, like, I'm archiving. I archive affairs that happen within a year.
Sure.
And my main point was like to do something different. The reason I came up with this idea was to do something different, something that could stand out. Because we were used to doing the normal music, do a song with a chorus and do and put it out, do a song with a chorus and do and put it out.
That's right.
But at a point I became bored in music, and you know, like when you do something so long, you get bored. I got bored. And as I branched off into film.
Bored after 11 years?
Not 11 years in the music.
In the music,
11 years is Wrap Up.
Wrap Up.
I've been doing the Wrap Up for 11 years.
Okay.
But the music is even way beyond that.
Ah, sure. I was surprised.
Like I told you earlier, it's what I've been breathing for the last maybe 25 years.
25 years.
Yeah, music.
Okay.
So it was, the reason I started doing the Wrap Up was to do something that could stand out. And I'm happy that the trend has taken up, and I'm happy that other people have also taken up the trend and doing the wrap-ups. We have Kaggwa, he also started during the bandwagon.
Interesting.
Nelly said.
Kaggwa the mayor.
Yeah, he's there, and we Jim Nola he also does wrap-ups once in a while. But
Interesting there. Andrew Kaggwa, the whole concept of wrap-up, the ability to want to give it a little bit of a change from the usual, more is a little conversational, no doubt about it. Does it resonate more away from the usual chorus and stuff like that?
Actually, the wrap-up always resonates.
Sure.
Yeah. That's the reason why at the beginning I was telling him that I feel like every time we are beginning there, we have a lot of hip-hop happening, because most of the wrap-ups have been hip-hop. It's just that today I've had Walukaga started. I would want to listen to that one. Because most of the wrap-ups have been hip-hop.
Yeah.
So every beginning of the year, you have a lot of activity. And I think there was that one year where we had the wrap-up, and after the wrap-up, there was Who is Who. So like a lot of activity was happening around hip-hop. So it's a very good idea. It's very good to archive ourselves, because as a country, we are very bad at archiving anything. So,
okay. Musicians help us archive things because they sing, and then that music stays with us forever.
Yeah,
you know,
we archive
and that
times.
you are more like our best fallback position when it comes to archiving. Let me stay with Andrew Kaggwa on this. You've been profiling, covering, and of course giving us information on artists. I want you to look this man in the face. He has the opportunity to hear straight about his work without necessarily.
what do you mean his work?
His work. Many musicians can be somewhere and then they are like, there's a guy on radio, there's a guy on TV who was bashing me, doesn't even have an idea what I go through, stuff like that. Does he know these things? You know the music and entertainment industry. You know he knows. Come on,
I know he knows.
Let's take it on.
I actually think when it comes to what I know mostly about film, and I'm a fan of their works. Like, you know your works when it
Besides
comes to
music,
film.
that's what
Besides music.
Besides music, I'm a very, very big fan of their works. I don't know if you are part of Rolex.
Yeah. I was the producer.
You're the producer. Yeah.
What is Rolex?
Rolex is a short film. It's a short film Songs Avenue did. I think it's Benon that directed.
Yeah, Benon and was there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the cast was stellar. No, you see, at times when we are working with the industry, most of the times, more so when it comes to the film industry, the people we do not know that other people are noticing. When it comes to some of the actors that were in that film, like I was thinking, okay, I'm very happy people are noticing these people do exist, because some of those people have invested a lot of time in their craft, very good actors. But in Uganda, because you do not get very many opportunities, there are very few chances that people will notice you regardless of how good you are. Yeah, but when it comes to the music, I think I've listened to Viboyo, like, geez, I've listened to Viboyo for a very long time. Like, it's weird. For a very long time, there was that song which I think came out when it was already old. Love Me, Love Me.
Yes, Love Me, Love Me, Love Me.
Yeah, the song came out when you know,
it already sounded old.
And you're like, I think I've had this song before. Yeah,
okay.
I think it was amazing, but for everyone, I think that listens to Ugandan music, the one song they'll remember about Viboyo most of the times is that verse in his song Nyombani with Freddy and Wizo.
Let him give it to us. You're doing a bad job.
It came to talk taxes. Okay.
We know, I know. There's a lot. But we want, of course, taxes. At the end of the day, we need to understand from what point do you face the challenge of taxation? Which it to be very important. So he seems to be mesmerized by that particular one. Give us the acapella.
Why not? Oludde yolinge yagenze n'obusungu lwaki ompisa bw'otyo leide laba musajja kati nsiba mu kiyungu buli lwolwa gy'olazeeyo nsiba binsobedde overtime kati zifuuse deire small time gy'ompanze my baby gyobeerera bize eno mbeera uneasy ebirowoozo binkuba binfuula dize ndi eno ninze nyiza I'm lonely and crazy n'abaana bakukabira oh my baby time ebeera nice ngandinono wempisa laavu yaffe yandibadde kimuli ekimulisa.
And exactly that is what URA wants to check. In terms of taxation, there is the proposals that are coming up. I think when guys at Uganda Revenue Authority listen to the vibes like that, they're like, all they see is money and they're coming for it. Where do we stand?
One truth is, for every business that makes money,
you need to pay
taxes have to be paid.
Yeah.
And I'm very sure, because I get a chance to talk to very many artists, I'm very sure very many artists are already paying taxes.
The direct taxes.
Direct tax, the pay
as a result of the music.
Yes, direct taxes as a result of music. And I'm so sure even artists as songs are paying taxes.
Oh yeah.
So like for starters, I was very pissed that very many artists did not like the idea that they were asked to get in numbers. And many of them were saying like, hey, come on, you need to care for the industry. Like, truth is, I'm one of the people that keeps calling out the government for not caring for the industry enough.
This time around?
But you see, when it comes to taxes, there is more than caring about the industry. I mean, the roads you're using when you're going to perform in Gulu, like, they were constructed using someone's taxes.
Yeah.
So, like, we need to think about.
And they are easing your ability to get to your point of work.
Yes.
Okay.
So an artist has to pay tax. However, when it comes to, when you look at the entire document, like what they are looking at, I think we shall get into that. When you look at the entire document, you're like, okay, you're being too ambitious.
All right. Viboyo has looked at the document, and I'm sure you do know what exactly URA is looking at. You've been paying taxes, no doubt, and I'm sure even before URA came after artists, you're already doing that. Are you uncomfortable with the new dispensation that is being rolled out?
I'm actually not really uncomfortable about paying taxes or anything. The only thing I'm uncomfortable about is trying to harvest where you didn't plow. That's my only problem.
Okay.
Yeah? Trying to harvest where you didn't plow. I mean, taxes is a responsibility for any citizen for to have a better country. But then there's so many ways these guys can package the taxing and also educate the artists and also be part of should I say, I wouldn't say promoters, but be part of the people that help the music grow. You know, URI can get so much money if the government helped our music sell out there.
That's
because
right.
if we are looking at only Uganda, then, I mean, we are not going to get out of here.
So what does, in your view, what does URA particularly want? What is that is causing a lot of contention? The fact that they now want to streamline and be sure to get just about everything they can get from you?
I think because they're already taxing the events.
Yeah, events are taxed.
Because that has to be, I think they're not so sure how much the artists are earning on maybe these other undocumented events, maybe those events out
like
of...
But then you see, regardless of what they do, it's going to be so hard to know how much people are earning in those undocumented events. Like, how many weddings are documented?
That's no idea.
Like weddings, Kwanjula.
And you're doing a lot of performing at events, like weddings.
This money will not go through accounts, banks.
It is, you guys are being paid cash.
Yes.
You arrive and they hand you your
they will pay you your envelope and you count your money, that's it, and you go buy whatever you want to buy. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now that represents a whole new challenge, and you can understand URA's attempt to be able to get some bit of that money. But again, the payment structure itself is one that is already flawed. Do you see this achieving what URA wants to?
I think URA should go on with what they are doing at the moment. One, you do not need to be way too ambitious when you're thinking about art and when you're overthinking the money. Because I was reading the document and someone was like, so for example, Blankets and Wine was a ticket was 150 and there were about 10,000 people in there. So they're estimating, and you're like, bro, do you know how many people were in there with complimentaries? Like, Ugandans are very bad at paying for concerts. It's a very funny thing. We are so good at attending them. Like, we want to be there. For some reason, every time there is a concert.
Explain that.
we are so good at having fun. We want to be there, but for some reason,
We don't want to pay.
people do not want to pay for concerts.
So those who are the crowds, those guys are not paying.
There are some
The
people
ones I
that
see.
pay, and there are some people that are getting
Well,
complimentary.
you know the dynamics of music. It's very tricky. I can have a show, a big show somewhere,
That's right.
and I want, music is a show. It's a show business.
Showbiz,
you
yeah.
have to show off, and some of these things people don't know.
Okay.
Then, because I want to fill up.
Be careful
and
not to reveal trade secrets.
No, I won't. Don't worry about that. But because people are going to come and take pictures of my show, and that will represent what I did, and the newspapers will come up and print, he flopped. We've seen these things.
Yep,
People
that's true.
they even come early and take pictures of seats and they post them. So as an artist, you don't want to perform for an empty. You rather give out complimentaries, at least.
Okay.
Yeah? Call out your fans, come. Give out complimentaries. So if
Tell your friends.
Come join me. And you can find there are people who are fans, and these fans can't afford 20,000.
That's right.
They can't afford 20,000. There are fans who can't even afford 5,000, but they want to come to the show. So once you give out free complimentaries, the crowd will be there, and the event will. It will help you. It will hype you, and your brand. It will even hype your brand. Once your brand is hyped, then you get other gigs. It doesn't matter how much money you've made.
Yeah, that's right.
Then you get other gigs. So when URI comes and estimates this show had maybe 1,000 people, they will forget that maybe from the 1,000 people, 500 was free. And you want me to pay, so that means you're going to eat into even the money from the 500 that I collected. You want to eat it into it to pay for the 500.
And remember, you even paid for that event. You paid like tax for that.
And the
event.
dynamics to have a show here. You have to pay police. You have to pay military. You have to pay KCCA. You have to pay the venue. You have to
Wait
buy
a minute.
sound.
You have to pay the police and the military.
Security. You have to carry security.
Yeah.
Why not pay police and then police takes care of? Are you suggesting the military has to also?
I don't know much about security issues.
Okay.
But I don't want to go into that. But
I understand.
Yeah.
No doubt. Yeah.
I'm not a security specialist, but if you want the revelers that are coming to your event to be secure, we have funds now.
All right. We shall be shifting attention, but still within the industry, to the promoters and what they want. But before we do that, and exactly what you're going to tell me, add this, please. The benchmarking of how it is done in countries where music is streamlined and taxes are well paid, including what you want to say.
Oh yeah, what I wanted to say is what we fail to look at when it comes to an industry or a concert. More so, I think it's quite trickier when we are having an international artist visiting Uganda. But what you need to think about is, say, you're having a concert and it has Spicy, Winnie, Azawi, and others. Remember, each and every one of these artists is paid. After that, there is a very big hurdle, which is the stage. Like, that thing is expensive. That thing is expensive. Stage light and everything.
The aesthetics of stage.
Yes. And that's before you even put on a backline, which is the band and everything. And then you start thinking about the security and everything. By the time you're done, it is very hard to fill the cricket over with people, and you're going to get your money back.
Before you even think of security,
quickly take us through what happens, the back end of things, including that. Are you, for example, if you're going to do a concert, is it the promoter that is entirely responsible for all that, and then you say, for example, you come into an understanding with the promoter, either they pay you up front, or it's a case of if things work out the way they're supposed to, and then we shall see after that?
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
Of course, there are artists that make shows backed by promoters, and then there are those artists that do their shows by themselves.
Bambi.
Yeah. So and if you get a promoter, you'll be lucky enough, because he will say, I'm going to do you this show, maybe 20 million, the rest is my problem.
The rest, yeah. So
then
they
you
pay
save.
you up front.
Yes, they pay you up front.
That means by the time you guys come on stage, the bouncing, the jumping, you're actually celebrating some cash already.
Sometimes, you know, but sometimes the promoter might have deposited. And you have to, as you're jumping, you're thinking about your balance. Sometimes promoters disappear.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting.
I mean, these things happen. A promoter will disappear. They gave you maybe, if you agreed 5 million, they gave you a down payment of 2M. The balance will be at the event. You reach the event, you'll be like, first perform, don't worry, I'm around. First perform. And as soon as you finish performing,
they disappear.
They've disappeared. You've seen these things. Once one of Spice Diana caused the ruckus in Uganda.
Oh, yeah. There was a time she was on stage and she was like, you see, you people usually condemn us for not showing up for events, but today I've showed up and I've not yet been paid.
Paid my money. I mean, stuff that like that happens.
All right, let's keep it with promoters and their ethics. They are suggesting that there should be a cap on the amount of money they pay artists to perform. I do not know the nitty-gritty and the dynamics within that particular arrangement. Take us through it. What have they communicated to artists?
Well, I would say, like, everyone has an opinion. That's their opinion. That's what they think. But we are living in a free economy. If I build my house, the trouble of building my house is my trouble. Once my house is done, I have the freedom to put the rent at however much I feel like. If I feel like the clients will come. So a promoter coming up and say, Mister, you're going to be performing for this amount, how much do they invest in me?
Okay.
Yes. How much do they invest in me? How much do they know that I invest in myself? Because they have no idea.
That's right.
So if you can't afford me or if you can't afford an artist, it's okay.
Hey, go for the one you can afford.
Go for the one you can afford. If an artist wants 10 million and you feel they are not worth 10 million, go for the one you feel is worth 10 million.
Andrew, what is the premise of the promoter's concerns? Away from simply having a uniform fee.
One, we should start by saying that much as the promoters came out and seemed to agree with a man who we shall not name. That document is not official.
It's not official.
It's not official. But one thing I would say is art is creativity. One, you cannot praise someone's creativity because you do not know what they went through when they were making that art. Like, let me tell you, you will find a song of you will find 5 songs of 3 minutes that were produced using way too different budgets, because either one wanted a violin in and they had to get someone to play violin, specifically that. And for you, a listener, you might not even notice a violin, but
it's the small detail.
It might be a small detail.
Very small indeed.
But actually someone added it in. So when someone comes and they're like, I'm putting a price cap, like, as who?
Interesting.
I think everyone should, one, hire the artists they can. If you can't, you leave out the ones you can't. It's okay. But it's not a must that everyone must be promoting or organizing concerts.
Interesting there. All right, so Mr. Nsubuga Moses and well-known, or better known as Viboyo, there are strategies that music can be streamlined in order to push it as a national identity product, something that we can be seen for as a country. But you had a particularly interesting perspective to it. Just share with our audience.
Well, I think if our government was intentional and deliberate about promoting, let's not think about tourism only. Let's also think of music. Because personally, I know music sold one country, a country like Jamaica was sold by music.
That's right.
World over. Much as Jamaica has some other stuff they do, but we know them for music.
We identify them.
We identify for music.
Reggae music in particular.
Imagine the government becomes intentional. They say every year, let's pick an artist to sell to the world. That way they can even tax them more. Because they're talking about taxing Ugandans, and this is a very small economy. People are looking for even 1,000 shillings to have supper.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And you're thinking of taxing them. Yet we can look at a bigger picture and tax the whole of Africa. Tax, if artists can earn from all over Africa.
From all over Africa.
Then there we'll be getting a lot of forex in here. So imagine you get an artist every year, get a single artist that you feel can represent a country. Sell them on that platform. You're selling Uganda now.
Yeah.
Pump in South Africa, in Nigeria, pump on all those Asian TVs, European TVs, ready. Bribe these guys, give them money, tell them to play music.
That's a wrong word to use.
Oh, yeah, maybe it's wrong, but we do pay DJs to play music. We do pay guys to play music.
The whole word completely makes a journalist shiver. I'm like, come on.
Well,
all right.
We do pay these guys to play music. So imagine we're intentional, go to BBC, tell them, push this Ugandan artist. Go to Trace Africa, push this Ugandan artist. Go to all those, trust me, within 3 or 4 years, there will be a very big change.
That's
and
right.
The Ugandan music will be out there, and revenue will be earning even much more than they want to earn.
And URA will have a reason to actually roll out the kind of taxes that it wants to.
Exactly.
You agree with that entirely?
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah.
Because, and I mean, you just talked about Jamaica, but there is DRC, I think even Nigeria. Okay, Nigeria, it's been more than the music, but it's been basically for art.
Entertainment.
Because there have been movies and then there's been music. So there is much money to be made, but you cannot make it when you're looking at Uganda as a small economy. And with all the problems that are withstanding, it's quite hard to get the money you think you'll be getting. And when you think about it, if you promote your artists out there, when artists leave the country to perform elsewhere, there are chances they are going to charge more. They are going to charge even thrice they would charge if they were in Uganda. Because it's one thing I've seen every time I travel, even when you just go to Nigeria. One Nigerian artists barely perform in Nigeria. They're usually performing elsewhere.
Yeah, elsewhere.
And when you look at the price tag these people have when they're performing elsewhere, like it's insane. Like some people are performing for $500,000.
Man, those guys.
I saw Viboyo's eyes go teary.
True.
No, like I looked at some.
You know, I mean, you can reach that level.
We
no
can.
doubt about
It's
it.
not impossible.
It's
not impossible. But it needs a collected effort of everyone, all stakeholders, not only artists, policymakers, revenue collectors. I mean, everyone.
Let's look at the quality of music that is being put out there. I know at the end of the day, you see a trend or a wave, and then you realize that people are responding to a particular wave. There is, I might get it wrong, is it Amapiano? People get that wave. But beyond the enthusiasm, you do not see what informs what that music gives you. What is the quality? Can Ugandans also do something, and then a South African is like, that particular beat is from Uganda and I love it. Instead of where we have our own artists, for example, being forced to adopt a Nigerian slant to the music. Let him first give us his assessment of it.
Well, I think we are still struggling with identity as a country.
Oh. Wow.
In music, entertainment.
Yeah.
In entertainment. Because when I say entertainment, it's music and movies. Even our movies are somehow struggling somewhere. Because it's all cliche, like copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. Something with the music. And this, I think, I don't know if Ugandans, the traveled Ugandans think, the elite, I don't know, somehow, a Ugandan will feel more comfortable putting on a foreign shirt than a locally made shirt.
And it applies to the listening.
And it applies to
it's across the board, yes.
Yeah, all products. So we would have had our own music right by now, but because we are always compared, a person will come up with a style like Baxi Raga, it used to come up. And like these guys will still prefer the foreign music coming in. Forgetting these guys push. These guys push their own craft so that you guys can play it. They push it. All we have to do is push ours. First, believe in it. Believe in it. It doesn't matter if you don't like it yourself, but push it. Because you might not like it, and for other people out there will love it. Yeah, push it. So it comes back to the program directors, presenters.
There you are.
Yeah, presenters, newspaper reporters. I mean, all those stakeholders. We always. I will not pin it on journalists and presenters only, but we all feel foreign staff is higher there, and Ugandan staff is.
Don't worry, NTV will not be bringing you foreign or
there was a radio
white
station that
presenters
shop.
We shall be using our very own.
These people rarely played Ugandan music, but they usually played Nigerian music. Their reason for not playing Ugandan music was like, it's not quality enough. And then they would play like Yori Yori, and you're like, but is that quality? So anyway, but to get back to what he's talking about, one, as Ugandans, naturally I don't know if we are tailored like that. We always like things that are foreign. I do not know why. But when it comes to identity, I think it's going to be so hard for Ugandans to get an identity. One, we are one of the most diverse countries, if I could say. Yeah.
And diversity on its own is not a bad thing. The United States, given its power and economic muscle, is founded on diversity.
The only difference is that at least they have something that brings them together, which is the English. As a country, we are all speaking our all different languages, and we are having a lot of biases
artists from different regions are complaining. That in Central, only Ugandan music is played. Now you see, that's where that word comes in. They're complaining that in Central, only Ugandan music is playing. But I tried to reason with some guy. Anywhere in the world, I cannot start sending my wrap-up Luganda song to Karamoja, because I'm very sure they might love the music. But if this song it's a narration, someone has to understand word by word of what I'm talking about.
That's a very interesting perspective, and I would love to introduce the notion that I see many Congolese adopted a while ago. When you listen to the likes of, and this one is going to give away my age, when you listen to some of the Lingala songs, and then the tendency by some of these guys to bring in some English. I know it usually sounds, but the guy shows you he's trying, and then he also attempts a bit of Luganda here and there, because he knows at the end of the day, Uganda is listening to my music. So if I don't put this in there, Awilo Longomba did something, and it was so well received. It was so well received. He identified the people and the trends within Uganda and put them in there. How about, for example, if you want your music to be listened to and enjoyed by the people in Karamoja, by the people in Viboyo, by the people, why don't you go and sit down with some of these speakers of these languages and pull out some words or two, a phrase or here, or a trend within that particular community, and then get beats to it?
But still artists will explain to you that music is music, and music is a language. Yes, we understand. But music is music when the beat is really moving. Not all music is music. There is that music where you just dance and you don't have to listen.
The dynamics are really,
and truth is, I know Willow did it, but I think it was on one song. It's not like he went on doing it on each and every song.
But he did.
I know.
And that is what everyone should
Bobby
look at.
Wine did that on Charenga. Like, I don't even know how many languages on that song.
On that song alone.
And he still cannot replicate it again and again.
In another song.
So yes, people can pull it off, but it's not something that you can count on to do on each and every song, because it will become repetitive, and then the people you're trying to reach out to will not even listen to the songs, because
will they get bored?
At the end of the day, for some reason it becomes repetitive.
Okay.
So it's something that you can, it happens like an eclipse almost.
But again, you said the beat matters most.
Yeah.
There is music that is going to shake a Vietnamese when it's not.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I remember we danced to Psy, Upa Ganga Star. But you have to understand also that's music. That's music that is only there because you can dance to it. And then there's music that you have to listen to. For example, Kadongo Kamu.
Then do all these genres. Have a song that is heavy on the beat and it can get anybody up, and then have that is really hinged on lyrics so
Then
that the music can be